dollar de masidi no ye hwe na ya ye ho adwuma bi ni se enema bi no wa kra de free ama no ne ye hwe se ebetimi anya tumi afree mrahye badam ne atimi atesa ne ma no eso na akofa nkomo pii ede ba aban guso justify no na ebi nsuso a omususu se ebeka omo nsuso ehwe eka ho asem bi se group bi a womo from Business Consultative Forum Ghana Union of Traders Association Guta Food and Beverages Association of Ghana FABA me Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Chamber of Automobile Dealership Ghana, and Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Omo ashe akan sema hudo pe omunim se bill no koswa se baso se de aban nhihye esi etie no a ade a be affect omo in several ways. Die be intia because I say yan kasa so yankosi yesi yankosi yankoda nso yesi yani nkom de Ghana for eta kampa enyina ne say the only thing I bet me year free ye hawmu yesi kasem ne ntotoye ne said de be adabia dollar ohunu cedi ade opebia no de ye no kwan bet me afa so be ye hu free sade no say yankasa ye be production ana say ye be jai say you be import, you be export jobs. Me can't say them in say the more ye cram ye free amanon, the more near you be for economy. But say it's not say near me any kunsa near man on near so ye be a chroma near condo, your chroma dear near bois, Emma as original. The be bois and say be my so economy no etimi akwa ni. Na den tina say per se ye free ho ana adane asem na balancing out bi ho wo se hwe na yedi ho enkomo ana make us say Alhaji Nazir Muhammad member of the National Communication Bureau of the National Democratic Congress Afia sanso ana Frederick Kofi I'm your friend yam command from town from him sir Frederick Kofi bra Fred oko your friend saying UN CCA or no o to say Ghana no one cause Minister of Information UN on na ya tachi information be free haba and be free on so bad na no so and I share na oyes nti ono odi ni nkwe wa America na oyampp ni mapa we akwaba
ye ni abra feel
nsuma feel I
am sure
bende so ajame ewa anu makoshe de woye amehwe na
COVID be ha adwene COVID nya ha nko na ha adwene no ho ama ye dwuma no kane na nkemu ode no ho ye hye COVID ne ba ama nyoma
aye bibi and then say nye nkwa na yesu
meetings
oka Alhaji Musa enye no kro
we dey ho no ya discuss I'm talking about
I say
because of measures we are taking to the extent that there were certain areas we were quiet so now from closing UN nti ama first nanka on say meetings no doors one then more of activities more of ejumani and because of COVID-19 na say yenoma hybrid and then reduce delegation see COVID no
wow.
Otherwise, BBI okay. But now, same no. Where they for quick one. I think in recent times, especially in New York, the tri-state of New York, New Jersey, especially. Now, you shooting, see, no Ghana for a taxi driver be and Columbia Confan no Queens area, baby, Rockaway ho. I could do a mechia or more born on Netico boss and maintenance. Ofimi 5 year kosa nebusian for ne man ketwa 9 and then there was this council woman young lady via New Jersey abranti bia em say no ewo ho and omuja na later guy shoot him be 14 bullets into her body.
Wow.
And we went for the funeral I was sorry them and then the last one I went to was a 16-year-old girl. Now Mudia go park so apparently there was a gang activity and then she was shot. So in fact Stephen in team chairman in team ni nuaba ewo bronze otina kam I think they also a gang initiation no it because randomly kill somebody otina they came mu chese the bone to Stephen in team ya
nti na chese ni pakro no ono no mu ko initiate no into some gang nti no o se o so na ho de hwe nti no tutuo nti na se dia bi panaye ne bone anase akofa ba bi eni kwan so akofa
otina wa pa
mu kromo so hotna no
so and these are some of the things that I think in recent times apart from that Juma so they also
well aban the LIB to parliament the be man to me ama niama bi no mo ha na importation e be ye ho bibi me sha se na me kire de nsusanso a ye kokra bibi afri amano na ekra bibi afri amano ne a ya na ha adwen ene se da bia se ne pe adwuma man krofo amano ne menu ni ala ye bi ensan tia ade ba kwa am de kai me pick bi katamani a me kai bia ne se meti bia no bia hye Africa atade of some sort there were quite be so nature say ye niema yi ma ye kondo a ye bepe eno so de betimi am yesika sem enso so etimi afa no tuma pafra but utu ho na mo nso eno so eya na push back bi nso so ho ubisa ho say nipa ya me pesem ya ade mo ho hwan wo mo no wo mo nso ana bebo am ma ye sa ade no so edu tem bia na mo twentwen wo mo na ase ade ani entimi nya ni ye ama ya kofa sase me ba se ma unse minority fo asori agina dendenden a mo kasa editia na no fiada na nya asem ketwa wo hwe eye mpanifo bi nso so a wo mo nso so ekra ne mafra manone ya wo mo nso so gutafo ne wo mo nuanom wo mo kra duane ne de keka ka ho nso so ede ba nso so asori wo nso so ani abre afasa de we sei kwan be ne betimi afaso a ebetimi atu saa na mo no wa bra yentia obia na so mane mroso na ebetimi asolve ya ho problems no
yo ebio de mamindi kan encha na mencha minya ye na siu na mencha hwefo ni na menfa enche mu hwam emma eye MPP amanyoko ni na de kan komo we di enka sebio nka we be ka se nka ne papa mu a kenisi eji ho achi because ohwe boni be kan do working go na is to ensure that one your forex your sika 7 ye ne amansan foforo na amamman foforo sika 7 no badwadi a ye hukum kese you're talking about the dollar exchange because your kokra nyoma free amanoni bia no also your sika no into a foreign currency either euro or pounds or if a Chinese yen na say just a Japanese yen no na anasi dollar no na ya mpembebre no edoso na me many can we are going into almost $1 billion in terms of importation dollars being here to import some of these products into our system. So the intention of the government is simple. In fact, I started CCR. That is why a ban ready policy be by a friend one district, one factory, so that we can have an import substitution. If we are nyoma, the kind of dodona ba ekromwano, if it's me and yan feeding yuma or musubit me aya. That does not mean that at some point you do away entirely with say we nyoma ekokra badabi. The intention is to ensure say at the end of the day, no, say we one, it will reduce our forex. Because our forex is dollar no, higher idea wakonya sabi breso. Esan say yes, esan yesika cedi no bebre no a de kodi dollar ne keto ne ba. Ema yesika sema ho de ne ba form. And once that happens, no, ema sabi nyoma bo eyedin. And nyoma bo so eyedin a can cost of living. Usika bonibeka your purchasing power. Sike ewo bottom no na ho de no eba form. Ebe can transport. E can be biama ahokyere eba. Nti ekwan ben so na eye aban betimi afa ebe ma sa de number form. It includes making sure say at the end of the day we regulate our importation. Na the wo me say we are operating a free market system. Free market system which I say obia timi kokra de person or pay ba. Yetimi digwa, there's no restriction. I'm buying mean can say there are no restrictions. Of course, there are some restrictions. In fact, so opposite o export BDA kurano, you have to go for a license.
Yeah.
BDA. So there are certain items where you need a license to import or to export. So, but we don't have a very strict restriction about near to our benefit. So what this government intends to do, 22 items, including your madia, any cichli, any more, any fruit juice, Now let's look at it from this perspective. One, about a year and more, 2022. Na deputy minister for
me try no senka ebe a famofa sa product na ebe kano no na ye na ye nhunu ye nyina obi ehunu bi na ye nhunu se enema ben na ban no de egu akwan mu se ebe a sa enema no se o ye free ho a ye be ne de because o hwe empanifo ya meka o masemre fa gutafo no monkrofo no na o ma kire de enti a wo mususu se aban yehu bibi ebe ba ko betimi ato so obetimi de ato so yehu no say this
o share more for example na Ghana you consume about 940,000 tons per year but we share local production it's nya be 400,000 tons per year. That was 2022. So the deputy minister Honorable Kennedy at that time projected says we share that was even 2019 projected by 2022 Ghana ebetimi aboy ho bra ba eye more edie so earlier 2023 so clearly that means say ye the nyoma egu akwemu a ye betimi restrict ye ntimi ka say ye import more cra but ebetimi reduce drastically. And then of course they are said one and they say ukọ upon to be asia say be inside they can no adoko there. Majority of them are locally made. Asana, sobolo, fruit juice, ginger juice nina. You rarely find the other foreign fruit juices.
But those ones cry no say no you pet coin be so be okroma. Oh yeah, it say adonko friend is saying soft drink beverages.
Yes.
Be to say
Angel Cola,
Angel Lime, Angel Peach,
Angel Fanta,
most of them.
So clearly,
like some of the things, more raw materials are more important.
The only challenge I would have is sugar, because sugar they haven't seen any production so far. So you are born to tougher crano. Tilimoponi ya papa. Ebe buama. Sebi your man sika semno etimi ejina ye. Now we come to the the opposition. About good and other organizations, they are definitely rare. Sebi omo betu etwa kakra. Esen say ebe affect you. But abayen can see a twem kra o say so person uko import here. You would have to come to the Ministry of Trade and Industry and then get the license. The attempt is to regulate the system. Say the beya isika na say forest exchange then we also make sure say Ghana for now also they are into a similar product or meet me here. Now where the minority make a case is when they are saying say and then omujina sunti omo pese ye beji samina react to kopim say almost say bia MPP fo bi na ye pese ye de enwuma na license ne mo no mo ye importation no say the be sika be kwa ko DMPP for your financiers and your supporters na adabraka we sebi you can with the greatest of you can kokwaniase you can be wo bejo and it's not true and yet somebody some institution some ministry some department must regulate the system and definitely it will be the trade ministry. So me mesre adisa there see your promani pa na your dream money can kopa na NDC for me I doubt say they even have this country at heart because this is a very good move. Like we see here where champion Ukraine say this is a very beautiful thing. It must be supported by all. Of course, there might be some few amendments we are say if but is
it fair to say NDC for Nkwana friends when you know say adwumaku ahodo mo krakra nema de free
Branko maka say adwumaku media definitely enye den ya on beti etua because they will be affected.
But they have given reasons why they think enye entirely a good move.
And that is the fact that we don't have import substitution. You need factories are. But if we don't
okay,
do some of
so
all
pursue on these grounds. I mean, Bobo so actually, I'll say the prices of most products mentioned in the Ministry of Trade and Industry policy proposal will result in serious price hikes as competition will be severely restricted. The minister is the ultimate decision maker on which companies end up trading in each of these items. This will eventually lead to monopolistic or oligopolistic position for a few select businesses in the country at the expense of many smaller businesses. 2, the permit system will definitely hinder the flow of goods from exporting countries to receivers in Ghana, since importers would no longer be able to rely on market demand to dictate the quantities of the ordered to be ordered, as companies will be at the whims of the Minister of Trade and Industry. Typically, orders would normally take a minimum of 3 months from purchase date to delivery, assuming there are no bureaucratic involvement in the decision-making process. It is always important to remember that there are no instant buttons one can press that will deliver the goods to you overnight. It is all about planning. So these are some of the reasons. And that's a quite to say. The minister Nedjing, and they think it's a uja to his discretion alone. I did a bit to me de so money be at the abba. There no be there now all can say. Some people think that well a few will be favored. Oh, that's the minister no filia. Obetimi a take certain decision be affected nkrofo so maybe
and I can say an institution will regulate this regime.
Yeah.
For example, we have the PDCs. Fuel, a very essential product in this country.
Yeah.
A matter of life and death. But it doesn't mean say PDC we are not importing fuel into our country. That's why we have MPA. Almost share. But of course, their concerns are germane and they are genuine. Like, but at the end of the day, it must be done. Anytime you should be say overarching goal. Like
this is Nema about the attitude to Akwama. Do you think that Abana Yehua ministry na Yehua well enough? For instance, I see there is already an increase in smuggling from neighboring countries of these items due to porous nature of our borders into our country. Imports through Tema ports have dropped drastically due to high duties and taxes. This new policy will only exacerbate the situation. The action of quota system is going to create high levels of corruption, as import permits will be issued to cronies and favorites or to the highest bidder. Our previous experience in Ghana confirms this. Indeed, the LI requires the potential importer to indicate, among others, in his import permit application, the name of his company, name of directors and shareholders. Why does the minister require all this information? This is very unfair and unacceptable. The business sector must not be handed to a minister to decide who trades and who does not. How can the fate of the entire private sector be handed to a minister as if the private sector is not a relevant stakeholder in this economy?
Like I said, and majority leader, there are portions of a airline or say minister no back, no ABCC. But again, Brad, the American say, but any trimupa a third a deal with a year nine. Concerns normal reason, relevant, they are genuine and they are good. It can be fixed, it must be done. Again, you sure on mining for swai being free. Sa in Shishaya and answer Mra aban epese or the bay. So the bay.
Do you think that we have demonstrated as a country, and as a the ministry, are demonstrating well enough? Say these things are taken care of. For instance, the porous nature of our borders, the fact that young Barney a crown for smuggle. There's a crop for kwanya on betting a faso thereby already. Taxes was through. Until Crawford crown approved routes now also mufaso at the ban crown swati. And Crawford resorted to other unapproved routes or Modeba. If you do it this way, yeah, they feel that Afia Beshe and Crawford or Muya dear, a ma or minor san Hidisicano, a Jumanu Mokena. Don't you think so? I was said by now, Nkawe say no Nkabianka airline and Nkabia and Komobia Yedi actually should indicate, say. Abana Kasa take certain measures taking care of these things. You know, that's why I say they are also thinking of the fact that people are not doing things minor. How have the government demonstrated say Sanyama we are not to be worried about?
So one, what I know for a fact, they say yes, even the current system and our regime people still smuggle certain products into the system. I mean, you say GR, once in a while, they go to stores near there, and they will be able to identify product that you smuggle about, and the person involved, they get panic. Even to the extent that cars are importable Ghana, say young papas, they're able to impound those cars. So I am saying that these concerns are genuine, and I am telling you also for a fact that there are enough measures. Security things are any me come so buying media boss and your mobile. But the business community, good afford, they also have a responsibility to ensure say I didn't papa, especially when it comes to smuggling. What me having seen me can be a support to those opposing the airline and say no, I really didn't see it. Engagement, stakeholder engagement, even I think Ghanaians must be involved in this conversation because for me, from all indications, good. Me banami NDC focus and the host there was struggling to make a case for minority when he came to some particular airline. He was struggling to make a case for it because to him it's a good thing, but of course these concerns, idea also any Ghana for doing common, also any business community needs to do common because. From all intents and purposes, for us to get to where we want to get to, especially when it comes to industrialization, reducing imports, cover and budget on our import, making sure you see the Nubenya. These are some of the measures.
But there is another point. Yeah, and also or more raising. Yeah, sometimes you can be out there, sir. Nema say, or they certain empirical figures, evidence, we say, I say, and in say, Uncle Francis also say, for instance, they are making a case. I said, Ocean point number 5 now. Almost say, currently, we do not discriminate against local goods in our trade. We consume all what is currently produced locally. We only import the shortfalls in local production. Elsewhere, do all the goods produced locally go to? The proposal in its current form does not show how the country intends to boost local production of these items for businesses to plan. It also failed to mention the quantities that are going to be produced for each item on this list. When are they going to be produced? Where will they be produced? How will distributors or traders secure supplies for sales? Legitimate businesses cannot plan without answers to these questions. Rice and chicken importers, for instance, could not find supplies locally when these restrictive measures were introduced in the previous NDC administration, even in the current NPP regime in 2018-2019. So they have asked very legitimate questions. Yeah, or more pay answers. Before said they can match us. Sanyama will say, and we are all supposed to, can wheel piano. There are other things pointing out, answers, seem far-fetched.
They are not far-fetched.
Because you have not told me, say, they may import to the banner. May they be complemented production now a work Ghana has said. Unyan can't me say, they say, so sometimes you come with certain figures. Say at least because of this and that my year as a country, you know. And then yet to me to say they all mention the former friend the minister in 2019. No.
Yeah.
I say
Rice.
Anya saying so there was a projection. Into why is our projection now? Tell us say Hana ewo. Into na be anka produce be 70% of rice. Into say the restriction number only 30 by complementary. You can't go beyond it. Give us all these figures. Yes, sir. I said, yeah, Ofo say, well, this is the way to go. It's either my way or the highway.
No, that and I made Chimu say, okay, these projections have been made, and I gave a specific example, air rice, and without even any projection or figures, I've told you about fruit juice, and you and I would agree. Would agree say, really, we don't need these foreign drinks in our homes. What I say, and then you mentioned the adonkos and the rest. And you know, Mestre, like I admitted here, the engagement must be deepened. Stakeholder engagement, you know, also in commodity, eco then maybe I also you tweaking, but the point I will continue to emphasize on is say, Timopoa a was I do with you know, a beboa.
Okay.
I'm said your mind sick as a imagine.
Okay, so Alaji, my takeaway from the submission is say, Dienye yanhwɛ deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛnni nkɔmmɔ nko so nni nkɔmmɔ no deɛ yɛfo sɛ ɛmmoa no yɛnhwɛ ne yɛnyɛ ho adwuma. We shouldn't let it be an MPP NDC thing to say deɛ binom ɛyɛ no metie wo nso so adwenkyerɛ ɛwɔ
Pato mede nkyɛɛ so mbo ɛbɛma ahwɛfoɔ ɛne me nua
ɛgyina ɔma dan mu so mu
yɛabɛhyɛ ne di kan me jidi say me nua be 20 minutes na wonya no me so me nya bi na me da ye nkyere na me wo jidi enso say ya betimi aye second topic no
me jidi pounds so say o jidi e wo me say about the time management the relevance of submission
what started for time
and so the
second topic no
say betimi aye na so ka panel no ho a one farmer me akoda ho na.
Oh,
if I come for managing my time.
Second topic, we say, but we are discussing. Yeah, but we are discussing.
Rather near war for.
Good. Pato, Ghana, oh, share your map on the moi. And no, near Fapema. Yadi Yanshe, Yadi Equinium. The directive principles of state policy, no try and paper say Ghana, a liberal. I practice liberal economy. You can liberal economy, no, and I just say, I'm crown to me, a born homebody, a young share, I didn't pass over Breno, I didn't pass over Breno Mino. Yes, I buying and a BBR. And the South Africa, and a Bejinaso, at the young argument, I had a queen. Men no work, I can say, Sanchez, we are, you are. Tahiru Amon Katie Amon
Tahiru Amon
Abano a bibi ahwe ama mabamu bu clearly kyereme say watena se ahwenhwemu hu say obi atimi ye bibi wo ne ministry na odi anya sika wa ban wi nti ono nso ye bibi a edi sika bebre. Because Beno Walker say, Obia ni wa wakase, and he say Ghana ye boy homebody. A yen share bema, your ma ye wo krumhan. Ya ye consume na yate, near ye crafty a man on neighbor. Obia ye be. Obia jitu muse will say yes, adiano. Indeed, and I'm santi, and I'm saban we, nanado down kwakufado by me, buying we buy them. What catch and say, obey be a friend, one district, one factory. Obey be a friend planting for food and jobs. Send a bear, a benya, san your mano, na nyaya crano, young cram baby. By this collective action, our catcher say, or bet and yes, sir, obesi can you, obema womu a womu betimi akra nyoma na aba no na chem say planting for food and jobs no by this action of his na chem say afeli na chem say your friends say enye me na make ono ani action na chem pepe say afeli because I'm fairly anka by now o ka chem say food juice no ne planting your friends say one day say one factory ama yetimi produce amount to say amata say inti yentumi enkra ebi emba krom habium ene Ghana yetimi free juice because your friends say one day say one factory am I food juice factory. One day say one factory am I one day say one factory am I no ma bebre a yakra eba ene what per say wo no ogine mu no tumi hu ne obetimi akra de aba. Se me ka me kira wo say ene na magye atumu say nsem bebre no Ghana fo bebre e ka say na nadu dankwa akofo ado ba me aba no o kan yan koye chi 40 years na me hu. It's as someone here can. Not 40 years ago, late 70s, about early 80s. And here now, your friend say control the what do you call it? There's another name for it. After say, over Cranoma, this is our Ministry of Trade and Industry. A kwaji krata nene ekeka ones. I want to make Cranoma. Sabreno and a man will be top broadoa. This is our line. Will be top milk. This is our line. We be talk city this is salary because discretion on minister no ohwe na woni me on fair also wo kwkraba ohwe na wo woni ye no fair also wo menko kramba na ya sanzo abisa se aban ben na ka kire yen so obedi sana monwe ya aban no a otumi betira yenim ka kire yen se yensuo say into small scale mining na very legal yenjai no yen hyehyeye na saa hyehyeye no beboa ama yatumi asi saa problems na ede galamsey eba ne ekeka ho ye be ye wie no na small scale mining no a very legal business ni nyina ya dan yakoma MPP fo enye me na meka wo mo nkasa na yeka tape na eba ye investigations na ye nyina na ehun sunfaso ne se even ye fancy akadia ye gi free ho a ye say enunti ye mo mo mfa ye djuma ne ekeka saa akade no excavators ni ekeka ho ya ton ama party for wo mo ankasa na ebu wo no mutom ka kire ye saa ban no na ne wo be ka kire ye se ono pese obi obekra nyoma no ono ma no kwa ansa wakra nyoma no na de na wo pese okra no because ya de be party for
okay so
party for juma na wo mo pese o mo ye
okay so I understand baby Adri you say ye nkomo bia kire de nti a e wo say party na ba ban mu that's fine. But then the maybe son say, won't you look at the policy and answer plan no as in principle? What do you think? Say, in principle,
you will see the clarity, the
no,
principle
behind
the attempt.
You are telling me, sir, based on mistrust, based on the fact that you cannot trust this government. Saadi will say no more, no. Anyone say yejitum, but then I want us to look at and know the program
you
in principle.
Think about the principle in the vacuum. Principle no, ewo fapem. Sa fapem no ni nipa or the is say beto. Sa nipa na make catch you say we lost the trust. Be bia ni wa wo ne betimi ahye ni nsebo a wo benya ho mfaso.
Okay, that is fine. But what the American say, I want us to look at the principle no. One the American. I say and kwanya abefa so abeboa na say emwa nti wo wi a na wa ka say bia however bia say ni
Pato
ma me nchira o say dey yo
sa na wo wadwen kira wo
no
say anka wo na wo bisa ye bisa o question na sa na wo beka me so ni ame ma adwen kira me no me so ma adwen no eye me party adwen e na me dey tu dwan
all right
nti ma no kwan na me nka me party
oh no
me ni a wo ne me ka say me a me no wo ne me ka say Sa Trade and Industry Ministry, or my Juma or
I know. So I don't say, to say that all kind of for say all kind of pay experience. Say, when him say, no bit me I
was building my
home. It got to points that so
now what's the point?
The point is that you fan free your friend is saying, you can't say. The principle no mfaso a ugidi se ewo so na fe kire me de nti a ususu se saa nkrofo yi anasa abanye wo so uji ni dia enye ye wontimi nye
and I make a mature
because no betimi aka because you why adwuma wo hopen
as a principle me start as a mechanic obi agi to mu say e wo say ye bibia e be ma yate ye import no so obi agi sa semra to mu aban bia ba ni manifesto nhyehyɛ obeya e be ma saa de no yetimi ate so no waye and I me no wo e kasa sisi yi after the time one NDC ye be free aban mu. One of the key things and let me there say one kasa and adia to mu kasa by 2018 2017 2018 19 na deputy minister kasa projections or more year na say rice importation ye betimi ate so by some percentages and yet say ye fiti preko me no yet say untumi fiti preko pen catch say what reduce rice importation. Indeed under his excellency John Dramani Mahama and she say say first of all you banned the inland importation of rice and money san your money baby inland importation ni nyina na say pa through harbor say ye be ya ye betimi aye ye be say ade nhyehyeye ama bibia da ho kan na ihu dodo a aba na ye yi sa smuggling now attached to the businesses on the inland borders and net for mankasa dia to move because we don't statement that when we say inland borders no are very porous then ti na mo ba ya mo ka say sa dia no mo bie mo omomfa through inland borders mo na mo bie na NDC abrɛ yes sa kwan no say ne be ya ye be control ye nsikeke ye san so eboa wo mo ye rice farming wo kai dodo no by 2020 na omo ka kire yen se eduma no omo ye no omo nya ho mfaso wo esanse ne so we be to right back 10 okura so to a confirm back the channel because aban no ananka oye the largest buyer ewo omega na bu na mu ho ye fa say bapa stock ho ni na keka ho nanka also omo koji sa right no omo koji sa right no omo ko fa imported ones no e no omo de eyo ede omo djuma ntie ma nkofo no boka because ye emre na ye show mase a wo moko ye sa adwuma na ye si kwan say at least inland import no ye mfamba wo fa poultry industry for instance ye say so atu anamon say fine Ghana ye ntimi produce enamo a ye pe nyina no enti e wo say ye kra bi afri amanoni na emom before wo be kra bi afri amanoni no edudu no wo be kra no 30% also kire senia watono e wo local ha the local participation in the economy. Nti ema obi ati ase nipa no kokra mu no aba enam no aba onum se obekọ your poultry farmers no ho akokra that time no wokọ akati farm wokọ dako farm so na nyina bie atra eneme no wokasa akati farm agukura the president of the Ghana Poultry Farmers Association Mr. Che no ekasa de bia minimum when I was at the ministry and then the poultry farm ni nyina wa collapse miensa akaba akope. Why? Because aban no ama kwan ama wo mo kokra nyoma no eba wabra obia not without recourse to nhyehyɛ na NDC for aye say also tobi wa ha ansa ya ma kwan ma wa kakra bia aba no enti so wo wa say we nyina na afi de ade no atinsem.
But can't this correct it? Are you not saying?
And I say why never correct? You know, there is no way you can put the same the person who caused the same problem to go and correct the problem. If I hear that, where don't
you take receipt? Coach, on my saying, coach. Utre, I won't take receipt.
You take receipt.
Now, why don't you manipulate from me take receipt anymore?
I don't think
so you are saying that Nipo have a creative problem. You don't use the same person.
Exams. Exams. Now, when to me, I'm passing. And I just a one creative problem. And it's just a one fear. And as I did, who could fear. Okoye say tata and I would na to implement policy who go sua de asa ba ebiu
who take decision
who sua de na wo be doctor then you the nipa man now you say your operation now wo bie now wo jagos ne scissors won yemu a and no what cause problem so the pan yem pa ma wo bie say for nipa yeah no operation into there is so vast difference between what go fail exams any who are by more what fail what is the kind of wo dey ashemu Oman this kind of woody say promises
any commitment atusu na yedi am taxes and na wakose no asotwe me na ye betre waso won it clearly no nyame me kan say nsem o mo aka ni nyina no wo hwe gutafo wo hwe other you say trade associations ni mpanyinfo ene ne NDC fo e kan say ene ye wo hoyi problem obi ni wo create because na NDC ye hyehyɛ wo ho say na ma kire wo a san hyehyɛ no na eboa ena wo bɛka say yem tun engu nkyɛn omuto gu nkyɛn why na ema wo kwan so omunko krakra sa nyowa no Labianca issue buy no Labianca on ye MPP nipa ene onka MPP aban mu a owo council of state wo sade enti san krofo no ena mo ma wo kwan omunko krakra nyoma no buy a to say nde ade na ade apansam na wo bɛka kyerɛ me say afei de me ma wo kwan na wo determine say asimisi na betimi akra na okra nso adodo say na obekra wabra mi minim say ye ma wo sa kwan no say with the issue of galamsey ye bibi fa ho no uji ma party for then it says won so unji ma party for na Ghana for mbre so clearly there is no and besides that enemre mu ye wo yi enye sa approach no and e dey solve problem approach na e dey solve problem na say wo be so industries na e wo Ghana na ase from agric from to agri processing in the ekeka also massive now go to me say wo mo eye bibia e beboa because taste no ho deda nipa no sori also de mo nipa no sori a also onu bibi kakra nipa no sori a odidi a also de magi ye person obedi bread or magi wo mu e ope nyoma kakra aye taste e wo ho ono so ye djuma wo sika no otumi to ma ye mfa ye nko back to 1982 83 say yen sala nkoto brogu yen sala nkoto magi ni ne ekeka nti wo so mase senior NDC for ya meka kire wo na ema the production of rice e course so ene ni nyina aba from because obi ampi wo NDC free abai mu sad na wo mo ya production of poultry and poultry product e course so ene obi anso mase nko bibia ya say poultry one of the biggest challenge ewo economy no mu ene enti asema o mu nyina aka no asama media me fi say ma Ghana ni bia entna se enye hwahan say owo gidie 1 minute bi kura obetimi di ama ban we ama na tu ana mo bia ne nsonto aso no say beboa Ghana kanko ne nsonto aso no say beboa ono nipa no ne kanko ene aban ne kanko obi adi wa odin say Ghana for mo be ne dey because and abayem the stock in trade of aban we obi a wo the ministry no ye nhihye bi a ono so di anya sika na okọ we to the ekoye ne nhihye a wo di anya sika na okọ obi a so person the president or vice president that has become the stock in trade of these people and nobody cares about the ordinary Ghanaian.
Kofi, so trust issues. I mean that's my takeaway from ono so na some kind say dem bisa na or jitum say a policy I bet me aboa but o cite galamsey there as an example. I say now Adwene pa and a touch it. Now so nkofo binum de nneema bi a no nipa bebre nim sem. Dia na kire say nipa ya o ho say minister no. Ono no afi onye na Adwene say business people now wo no afi ono na be kire say say na betimi import o ba one ne kasa bi a jekakra na me susu mintimi import more ne sa nema na ma uhunu sa nema no ewo ho.
I mean there's a tendency for that to happen, but again the bottom line is that Pato, let me share some few information.
Okay.
Your baby guts, bladder, stomachs of animals. Ghana every year be spending $164 million to import beverages, fruit juice, coke, Ghana spending $200 million. Toilet rolls, any tissue, $100 million. Tin tomatoes, $1 billion. Tin tomatoes, $1 billion. And our French tomatoes from Burkina Faso, $100 million. And more, $800 million. Sugar, $300 million. Flour is some $600 million. Poultry and meat, $400 million. Fish, $245 million. Tadia, textiles and apparel, $250 million. Cooking oil, $300 million. 1,000 ceramics, yeah, the CC Afia, $300 million. And 200. Plastics, 500. Paper, 600. Pharmaceutical and chemical, 750. Iron and steel, 600. And I can go on and on. Furniture, 250 million. Home appliances, $900 million. In all, $10.8 billion every single year. Also, Bank of Ghana, $1 dollars and demand individuals. Now look at these items here, and tell me, say, as a country, do we have to spend $200 million to import some product Ghana for your manufacturer in abundance?
I share.
Last one. Do we have to import yamadio? You are talking about yamadio, including imponchini, nyani, the kikan near the
town runabout.
Let me make this one, Pato. As far as even rice production, you were not good at what we're asking about figures. Currently, as we speak, Ghana, you produce 1.2 million metric tons of rice. Your consumption a year is 1.4. So we just need 200,000. So when they talk about the figure, I didn't want to banter.
It has to be. Do you know why what you just told me is relevant? To me, the question now, na me be busa no nyina say, you produce tin tomatoes, you import 1 billion. You produce saying your tomatoes, you convert 100 million from Burkina Faso. You produce saying ewa. They're in a government deliberately. Ama what you produce, you what can rice then? It makes a lot of sense. You can rice production. That's everyone said. The 600 million. And the imported rice. We are looking at say we can say 100 million dollars be. I say no, they be their rice because 500 million no the encounter be kwa fa no. Ye wo ha. Nti can sikano a kire say ones that we can live with or live without. We can dispense with importation of Jamadie.
Of course.
We can easily we can dispense with the importation of Jamadie. Any other things. But the be no more import the more imported the bano. Bibia di adanse say about the complementary shortfalls of the intimate producing if the trade minister or no records ni na wo no or boy with all these things say yantina say emaye import tomatoes 1 billion wabra ye produce tomatoes to the tune of beer say yam this metric tons yenya some metric tons we the be hia ba complementing we say beer modi we say ne ba nti beer prices no emaye ntoye de no then we talk about those things then no cry e be din komo se kwan ba na e betima fa so a ye be me your cost of production na aba form a beer your products no so ha no ne to betimi aba form. I spoke to Guta Niba Kobi. He told me say confectionaries ya na omokra biscuits ni nema nema bi na omokra free company bi omokra free company bi ho omo diska koja no for some 6 months no muntimi supply
locally.
Yes, the ono peno nti a kire ye okoji ni sika no na okokra bi free baabi ana say one ne kasa na okra bi e free baabi no oba be ye friends. So I was say yes say ni aban na edisa nkomo yi. But the onus is on aban so no so be kire say dear me ye until when you come and tell me this as a gatekeeper, na say a friend is saying consortium ya forum ya eba no member ka say aban de onimi dininia na me so be de aban de no kan no ahia me say but de wo ye de aban so obetimi produce say what show proof so obetimi produce ada na chinchin a person okofo obi de e ba but I don't have enough of this. I only listen to Nipakro no say obe making sure say sad na me wo taste e man no readily available. I will listen to that person.
All these figures are available, like I've indicated to you. And just so you know, we are not saying say a total ban on importation, discretionary. What it means is that you share what we have locally as against what we need. Then we can do the balance and say, okay, for example, maybe a biscuits. ye we bi abe 1,000 biscuits in our system. Ye here be abe 2,000. Ye share locally no we are able to produce say 1,000 into no. Okay, we can give a certificate for area importers to bring the additional 1,000 for our consumption. So it doesn't mean say you are banning biscuit, a man you have biscuit in ma. You are banning.
And also the fear is that me Alaji Naziru, our company or the importers are there. We are Katie Hammond. Alaji Naziru ni. No, but can we run? We can never run away from that. Me Alaji Naziru. So me a cocoa who's me young me body.
And you are doing
me body.
Oh, mama, and you fear legitimate. By the end of the day, the maker say, and you working go.
Yeah, next topic, you wait me discuss.
You discuss. Next topic, you
enough. And you did produce.
And you don't. Yeah,
Apa is regional minister say more wa bomba to hopa. Na mo pese omo ko afuo ma ombeba no anadwo no omo ko afuo na nkrofo ne omo yere no mededa.
Correct. Eyo no ka ye.
Ba
mi ana ka ye. Se ba mi ana explain so ko kasa.
Oh, you can say. Omo dictate what
ba mi speech no.
And you busy for the be chair dey enkan wo. What I say.
Yeah, but you catch them in the back.
You why discuss.
I omo no
discretion.
Me ban you catch them in the back discuss. Obi NDC editorial policy. Policy no mo decide on omo man be
me anamtie ntimani wi ne dia na. Sir, me di dia beka. E won dia me kura sin dia eke.
Thank you.
Me kura ne say, sir timupo ya na mra ya yetimupo mra ya pese ye de bayi na ye de boy ho bre ya dia enwuma se bi eni oman mu a ye prese bi beba e be boosting local employment because at the end of the day no the more ye kran you free amanoni no na guta fo kro ya na no 2022 kama Ghana consumers one ka say me emfa eye home use appliance user they were fighting against it so they will fight against anything and say be more music asema akofom. What I say? Alaji, high sense in you. I wait till I got to brand new product.
Alaji, tell me how a 24-hour economy can help us in some of these situations.
Very good. Now, even before then, when you are in a casa, one casa will be beat say citrus. Say, okay, say over control the importation of citrus. And now, buy a company banner open or buy. Okay, okay, say your madie ne ne ekeka ho a opese control esan say you import 1 million worth of your madie now what tell me farm
164
what tell me farm I work on ne you pay your madie 10 tons obetimi dia man ne and the year farm I wo Ghana what's the
yankra be den
it taste enti obi a opebia
24 hour
correct obi a opebia na benya bi enti wonya we nyina wie ya
na for your madie
enti me beka tell me say what person would they eduma no so say my party for in the name of controlling import 24-hour economy a very important saying in ebeti ase say chichaye bia is excellency John Dramani Mahama ena odiaba chichaye foforo kra no a me de ne fapem
it's a novelty how
me prove actually
okay
ne fapem say ye behwe na mbabu no bebre no a ene wo mo nya edumaye no wo mo ebenya edumaye na ya san so akoyenim asem ada ye ka first topic no say Ghana ebebo no hombodin aye den export driven economy na ya ye production especially in the area of agro processing ni ya beze ni aka na san hyehyɛ no ye target say ye ba bibia ye de best start no bibi to say agro processing 24 hours pharmaceuticals 24 hours manufacturing households 24 hours construction mo SCC adan ye kwan 24 hours extractive industry wo pine wo extractive industry wo yi agode wo from 24 hours sanitation and waste management wo sisa ball and ne ye keka ho 24 hours digital setup any BPOs business processing outsourcing as a menu idea or no say Ghana is an advantage when it comes to that 24 hours financial services retail 24 hours and then you can come yeah so I say a buying edwuma bi wɔ hɔ a bo sɛ customers no dɔɔso nti daa no wobɛkɔ na yɛabɔ kyenku anaasɛ yɛabɔ dɔmpem wɔ hɔ in an attempt to get that services from Aban. Ebi a DVL, Driver Vehicle Licensing Authority, ebi a passport office, ebi a ports and harbors, ebi a customs and customs because when they harbor about 24 hours and automatically also pushy customs and so say we mobile juma 24 hours. Na ufri one yentia be catch us say sunku a no fail the fact say Ghana and we are happening nyina ama wo wrote to say Germany ama wo wrote to say UK one more about 30% in America, United States of America, almost 30% of their labor. One more Jumana do UK, be 9%. I mean Germany be 19%. France was 7%. Nini ekeka ho. Inti bibia be one youth call one policy culture amount for gravitated towards in order to fight challenges na by my and as economy no akonichi. Now, me no wo say nti aye sonko ene say wo pese wo ye 24-hour ye venzen economy ni bi na wo pese wo de wo hu dom a enye say eye nhye wo bi aso wo pese wo dom a wo bedom na wo sa industries we mu a eno na ma ni eye easier e ma wo bedom na wo ban so a enye say wo ye djuma 24 hours keke maybe eye nhyehyeye a wo bi di so a te say aban so enam say wo be di nhyehyeye ne so no so nti aban ebe de ebe so wase enuma ni bebre especially the agro processing industry aban ebe so wase e di sika ebe hye ho se na ebe ya wo mo betimi aye production ni bebre wo free hon so a you will be there friend no you say time of use electricity payment say you be charge o enam kane abo no because and wo ko industry ni nyina no a wo mo ne wo mu su kese eye enyinam kane abo nti aban na ye hyehyeye say esan say nhyehyeye no anye bibia bosremo kabi keke ye consultations any industry any stakeholders ni nyina answer ye arrive at that conclusion no sa enyinam kane a ebo no ye ne say ye be no time of use tariffs nti say uye juma fiti anopa ebesi enwumre a ebia kilowatt per hour charges no enye the same as say wo be ye juma fiti anajo ebesi abc anopa na kilowatt per hour charges no we say ni bo aba from bebre ni bo no ba from a na che say wo no a wo ye manufacturing wo no a wo de wo abedom a wo ye say juma no e ma wo hu ahinhan na wotumi ayeden atre ejuma ni mu wo tre ejuma ni mu no na wo fa ne nipa so bebre a wo mo so ebe den ebe ye say ejuma wo free won so a aban aye say security ade ba ko a wo be hia no anajo esa say wo be ye duba anajo a wo say ma exceptional security ebe ma wonya saa laxity no and as a confidence no obetimi aye eduma obia embewia obia bedu ubone nti sa security no ehun so aban aye crowd say obe hyemukina na waboa ama tese sa nkrofo no enya security a wo mu hia e de aye sa eduma ebi nso eye nhyehyeye aban a eye tese emra a aban e de abe ma wo kwan na womutumi a complete favorably na we ni nyina ayeye na ka akosi so say nsem a na ye ka no initially no say ne ye wo company bi to say blue sky na omo produce a supply the European market with a 1 day shelf life perishable goods like pineapple ya tuta omo supply wo European market every day na to say ebi nso betimi aye na ebi nso betimi aye ye beye ama to say ye betimi di eat what we can and can what we can't as a result of massive production no ebe cost. Now when we look at the bigger market first of all the African Free Trade Continental area a big market you tapping into it into ye produce ko ye nimu a ye betimi enye bi wo wo free wa the yen pharmaceutical industry no kra no American one some say be show mo asem within this West African sub-region, Ghana ndru ndru bakwa, and this is experience is what I got from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Ndru aye tonu bebre within the sub-region, because amampo GD won koto Ghana ndru ma won say fake ne ne ekeka ho nti wukọ Mali wukọ Burkina wukọ Niger ne ne ekeka ho no won eto Ghana ndru no bebre nti ye was immediate market of close to about 300 million also ewo ho aye ECOWAS market no nti demand no esan so wo ho e ma yan kasa ye ho because ye me no ye kasa ye ka say de nti na yan kra mu the ye mukura no because ye ntumi ye e ma enso obi ante ye be kra bi anam wa nti say demand wo ho fa mu a na say wutumi ye na emiti the standard na emiti the requirement even at home no demand wo ho sanso na free juice ne ne ekeka ho sanso na other issues and say other products are ye nyina ye hia. One, the issue of construction only say we call western region side ho wo within 3-4 months contractors e wo ho e de edwuma esansenso no to ho bebre enti say wo mo nya no say wo mo be ye edwuma anajo aye edwuma ye fe say nwumre aye edwuma akopema no pa ne ne ekeka ho a na etra say anka edwuma o de 1 year be ye no ene obetimi de be 6 months and 3 months aye na wa ye wie ama aban so asan so na se ama aban so aboa no with your friends incentives ama aban so aboa no with tax relief very important because we mu nyina no bema on your investor no ne ho ahihan no na wa trade juma no wa san so afa nipa bebre aba juma no because ebi be ye no pa ebi be ye wia ebi be ye nyomre ne ne ekeka ho nti ne kura no se sir, your friend said 24-hour economy.
The same time
on 24-hour economy.
I'm see in a minute.
And that will not be with room. Now, 24-hour economy. We be unse Ghana for this. Ejuma pankwa. As I say, Kofi baby, Salifu, and so ebenye biaye. Enyo namu so ebenye biaye. Kwarteng so ebeye ni akano. Ama obia anye juma aye. Ewo Ghana.
Mante amia. But
man to go. The woman say, bra, say MPP call opposition. Say, man penny that John German, my best about them. In fact, a best shimmy, a best hammy crapper. Because Papa no a demonstrate, he said, a member no, a D in fear, a pemcrana, obua, enfa. But any day, say today we sit here, you do come offer a proposed policy by President Mahama. I am glad, I must confess. Because the first time in his political career, this is about the time where he had discussing policy that he has proposed. And I'm extremely happy. It has never happened in his political life. And can you hear Ushien Boots, no Ababa say. And then we are talking about a policy, and the intent is to make sure say unemployment, say be betting artificial. Which
I don't just want to come.
Which is my opinion. Please come with a lot of policies. No, he hasn't. Please. So I am extremely happy. That's my initial. Opening 24-hour economy. First of all, Okambrofo be say novelty. Ode battery kase mo ya de foforo bi ba. Oni say nya nokure. Ya asema ya kan show man no say bi omoka. Oka wie ye no novelty no sa kan nnumeku a omo sa 24 hour no economy no be ba be ye. You mentioned agro processing, pharmaceutical, extractive industry, sanitation waste, BPO near the other. Let me take, because of time, let me take just one or two or three. JD agro processing means say be a fruit juice factory, and I say omo ye nyoma ye di kwa and I say ye no buy nnuane ye e be a plantain chips and I say be a keka ho. Ye nyina ye nim for a fact say Aztec men say juice those days na ye omo ye the we kotoye mami kotoye kunedu kotoye na once a one. It's one canals. They were operating 24 hours.
They were.
And fruit juice and beverages companies are still operating. You and I live
Blue
in
Skies.
No, I'll come to Blue Sky. You and I were living, and I say, minimum so that's in North Canadian. You in North Industrial area. We live there. Let me to all stop. You near Bobo. Okay? On him said, now more here, biscuit factories or beverages or other companies or industries were there operating 24 hours. Even before we were born. Wait, don't do this. We need to be as
clearly showing the people something different.
Okay.
Because 24 hours now, tax incentives better.
All right, okay. So
24 hours now, also
no, Alaji, this is not fair because
running
goofy. No, he wants to goof.
Okay.
So goofy.
Then again, he mentioned public institutions, which is a passport office, any DVLA. I want them who say like the 24-hour economy, clearly they don't understand it. And when you ask them, they will tell you to the extent that, Adena, Ebia, Obiye, Juma, no pa, or passport office, no, Poma, no bim, Betwasu, and then you ask yourself, say, Edian services. Honestly, they expect that somebody will walk to that office at night to patronize that services, a passport office, a producer. That was where I realized that you don't know what you are talking about. You know why? Because baby, I'm here, Juma, the Ghana's mission, passports. So I have an idea and an understanding of our passports, and in fact, even currently. So now this is the problem. Because we've introduced biometrics now. Can in nan ka okutwa picture now the corner ya dia boma man now because here there also back office or need try picture near there. Because of that, people would have to come physically to the passport offices. You who say numbers no increase no. What they have decided to do is now we have biometric centers. Okay, we have biometric centers. No individual private individuals no only. So instead of saying biometric services, no, yet private individuals are able to establish biometric centers to provide these services. And thereby, ABC, Accra Digital Center, Oko Tema Station,
Tema Station.
I'm telling you, you don't know. They don't even know.
Passport office.
To the extent that even in the United States,
you mean the former Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
Just stop. Yes, even in the United States of America, we are able to outsource your passport services.
Correct.
To Chicago, Los Angeles, Texas, and say Bronina no or county in Tietwen. The point is that you really don't need people to physically sit in an office and people to come to them at night. You are creating. The intention is to create. Oh please.
Then what do you have? The intention is to
create employment by making sure that we decentralizing the system. Also create employment because these private individuals who are establishing biometric centers, they are employing people to work with. Then he talks about novelty, BPO. BPO in essence is a call center. As far back as 2007, I was working with Zane, and then the LTTigo. The first people are employed at the call center. Oh, Spinters Road. I was working there. Yeah, 3 shifts. I'm past 6 to 1, 8 to 2. Now I'm about 2 normal point. And midnight, 24 hours. They were operating and it still goes on. Now you are talking about novelty. Brad, also, especially when we were discussing the first issue about DNA, he in the first comment and now person drawn attention to a different thing was the credibility and the history of the government to the extent that I'm managing the situation. So in this case, the credibility and the history of the person promising is very important. They are talking about a year tax incentives, a year electricity and power reduction near the other. And he mentioned blue skies. Brad, let me read something to you, please, quickly. 2015, April 27th, 2015, Blue Skies to lay off 1,000 workers. Beverage producing company Blue Sky says it will lay off thousands of its workers in the next few weeks if nothing is done to improve the erratic power supply in the country. So this is a president who superintended over erratic power supply doomed so for 5 years in this country. This same man is about to promise and say he will be able to superintend a system where there will be smooth supply of power. Really? This same man and all promises say obema ye nyuma ye to the extent that say bi wa ye adwuma no pakra no ye be say ma obi kra ye numre no obeka kire ye say onye magician obema ye adwuma. In fact oka kire eye graduate say obetu omo fo kese pa say omo pa adwuma ya omo ba private public sector. This same man at the time because of doom so you may crow and and I mentioned Blue Skies to you. Oko Water Testers Limited. Omu lay off workers to the extent say closing here. For the sake of a year timely intervention, one district, one factory, and Water Testers in Keguye. This man who never provided any incentive to any company whatsoever.
All right.
When we were experiencing doom, so now he's saying something providing incentive for us.
Okay, time cry a fast spent, but quickly, but you made your point. But maybe I mean, a man for society from there, but they are more can no dey comfort for home. Or Paro say I believe Ghanaians have seen the difference between NPP government and JDM government when we talk about policies. JDM and NDC cannot compare themselves to the NPP government. God bless NPP government about the good works they are doing for Ghanaians. Long live NPP. Long live Protozwa. Pejahine of Suhum. Or other people in by time. Musa Abattoir in Aswase or say this government lacks ability to think and work to revive the mess they created about the economy. President Akufo-Addo told us that Dr. Bawumia has been chosen as running mate in 2007 because he's economic prophet. Now the economy has crashed. You cannot import cars or clothing unless 3 persons appointed by ministers give you permit to do so. God save Ghana. Kwabla V of Pokrasi Benghazi says John Mahama has no intention of creating chaos and pandemonium in the next coming election. So President Akufo-Addo should stop painting John Mahama black as evil person who wants to destroy Ghana's economy. I mean Ghana. It is President Akufo-Addo who has planned to destroy Ghana because he wants MPP party and Dr. Bawumia to win the next coming elections at all cost. We want to tell President Akufo-Addo that he has already destroyed Ghana, so he should leave in peace. If not, we are going to match him boot for boot. Al-Hassan Sisi, Zenu Central, or say, I don't know why some educated persons, some with degrees, PhD, doctors, etc., are busy confusing citizens with shift system as 24-hour working system, which we call 24-hour economy. We don't have 24-hour economy in Ghana as we speak. The police is, because we don't have 24-hour economy in Ghana as we speak. The police is an example. They run shift system, not 24 hours. The visibility of the police in a day time is not the same as the it's not the same at night. That tells you it's not 24 hour that they run. OPK Patriotic Voices goes to regards to Dr. Digitalization Bawumia, Vice President and flag bearer elect of the NPP 2024. Ghanaians should vote for NPP with Dr. Digitalization Bawumia as a flag bearer in 2024, who are transforming Ghana with free SHS 1D1F1, 101 hospital agenda 11, planting for food and jobs, drones delivery system, paperless sports, mobile money interoperability, digital address system, Ghana card, STEM and TVET schools, massive road construction, massive infrastructure in our schools, etc. Not Mahama and NDC who brought Doomso for 4 years, 3 months pay policy and freeze on employment for 8 years. I'm not a magician to create a job for graduates, unprecedented corruption and etc. And also I buy. But How quick is it going to be?
No, but it's very important. Say, oh yeah, we no catch him some train.
No, but one be at same time.
And I say, but all can be very accurate. Then you could have given me the time.
No, I couldn't have.
One of the issues, you know, they say.
How quick is it going to be so that I know how to manage it?
I say I'll do as quick as possible.
How? Can you do it in 1 minute?
I'll try.
All right. So in 1 minute, then you get 1 minute.
And I say, make a mention. So, catch him say, and I do so by it. Will be to me. One to me, show be as not a palpable lie because the pharmaceutical industry today are producing and even doing antiretroviral for Ghana. COVID by ye nyandoro bebre a wo mutumi eye wo krom ha because John Mahama and so mase after the doomsday issues now I was so so that is a palpable like this is a fact me can ye can no em so be train very simple say a shift system and a 24-hour economy. What he had na industrial area about 4 years juma and away blue skies now a man 4 years juma 24 na maybe say the 24-hour economy incentives come into industrial area omuye juma
no different
na make industrial area omuye juma no charges ben e dey taxes ben e free then e dey form
1 minute gone
but there be
1 minute gone
the credibility of Busan so the issue of credibility but I must take this is with regard to my the precious thing but me can tell the credibility John Dramani Mahama aye Terminal 3 and then around 24 hours John Dramani Mahama aye menu kase waye gas around 24 hours John Dramani Mahama MPS Meridian around 24 hours that is the credibility okay. But okase we are on trying
you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. You are hijacking the program. Me that say.
I don't say you have import license to party.
It's clear that.
Mama, sebi, your man in fear or her car, mine, this shows in his policies. Ultimately, say deficient. To be a or share bo afraid of buy or any voluntary, any then. See a coffee that you realize that you continue to reduce the policy and reduce it. Eventually, it went up to that. So for me. Again, President John Dramani Mahama certainly is not the alternative.
All right. Certainly is not the alternative. Me that say Alajina zero so by Kofi me that say so by. Everyone go say Pato Nyankopon ya adoma ewia between 2 and 5:30 so you better share na dey adwene kasa bro on original 91.9 FM. China no pa better share bro. Nyame nka ho. Bye bye.
Original TV, Ghana ye DNA.
Num say emramu say woyamfum so oto abanmra. Na say police for chewa. Ntwase wodamu aboro so kra na anu. Na anu na chi no say ma obela. I was say police for de ko gina court. Na court e hyese bia yema obel. Ebiem wonum say emramu no nso. Obi huna bia wonye police ni enya hwe. Anytime so butumi ache wodo asie keke. Na so obi ya wosabia wunum sa mramu no awasa ye wi a nipa kono e compensate wana emfie be na wodi atimi twon wo memma nko na say wo lija wo yire no mma na so obi su twon wo no nso a ebere be na wo le ba aduma wan na de wo ni kosie na yire ana ne ma ana sa lawyer fo sensem wo nyina mu hunu mu ene nkyire mu anti